So I want to pick your brain now as an entrepreneur coach.
I love it. I love it. Well, first of all, great concept, great business idea. This is and I think that everybody that's listening right now should put their entrepreneurial hats on.
Business or personal development.
Are you looking to? It started talking.
It's gone off.
We'll bring it back.
But I think that everybody should put their entrepreneurial hats on, because whatever their idea is, we're going to go through the same kind of process or a similar process to what you're doing. So the first thing that came to mind right away, first of all, great business idea, great business concept. There's something really here. The question is how do you monetize it, right? So I want to make sure we address that question. The first thing is that you have to find the most likely buyers, or what we call your ICP, your ideal customer, that would actually resonate with this. So not everybody might identify with it. So if you went out, the mistake would be hey, I've got this great technology. I don't know the uses for it. I don't really know how I'm going to use it. I'm just going to kind of put it out there and see what happens. Number one is I would say that you need to identify a very, very narrow target market and get adoption in that target market of people that would actually say, you know what, I would rather communicate this way with someone. This is a more preferable way. So it's not applicable to everybody today, because what it does is it requires education, knowledge, and all those other things that I talked about earlier. You're going to need to educate a market on this, that this is actually better. This is kind of the Airbnb problem. Although I think that instead of taking 5, 6, 7 years to educate the way that Airbnb did, you can do it in a very short period of time with this product, because the product is fairly simple, but also very complex. People need to be able to trust it in order to know that trust. So what we got to do first is we need to find that target market that would identify, but we need to pair that with the use case. In other words, you need to find a use case that makes us highly relevant and a use case that actually can be monetized. So right now you've done the most natural thing is, hey, I've added this on almost for free, or maybe there's, it adds value to your overall offering, which I think is great. And I can see people buying it because they get this along with TJ, everything TJ. And that then becomes my own personal coach to being able to reference this material anytime I want, which I think it can be very, very valuable. How you monetize that, the question is how can we do this without TJ as well? How can we use this and sell this independently of TJ?
Well, let me clarify here. I'm not an AI Python genius, and I didn't train a model and raise $5 billion what it takes. I'm using a platform called Delie. So they are essentially, what Thinkific or Teachable is for online trainers, where they put everything together in one place and make it simple for non-techies to upload courses. I'm using a platform that anyone could go. You could go to today. You wouldn't need me.
Right.
You could have that. So I've trained my clone with 14 million words of my ideas from all my online courses, every YouTube video I've ever made, every book I've ever read. It's all built into this brain. And then it's modeled. So they take 11 labs for my voice and HeyGen and other platforms for the video, and they use OpenAI to assimilate all the data so that it comes out conversational. So I can't sell the idea of, I don't have the platform and the technology to sell.
No, understood.
What I do have is the expertise on how to help someone navigate their way through, because it is so new and fresh.
Well, that's the key. Yeah.
So I have split up a page saying, consulting practice. I am today starting to make an online course on how to make your own online clone. So I see different things of, the old idea of, you're selling the picks and shovels. So I've got a whole platform for how to sell the picks and shovels. What I don't have yet is a way of, let me step back. I really want to be the poster boy of using interactive video digital clones in general. I also want people to really use my specific clone to help them in 2 areas: help their communication skills, but also personal development skills, and to really use it as an ongoing coach. If you're interested in golfing, if you can have Tiger Woods with you an hour a day on the links anytime you want, you'd probably like that. I'm not a golfer. He's maybe not the best coach, but if you could have him, instead of paying, he would want $20 million a month if he were to do that for you. If you could have him giving all the same advice for $20 a month, well, that would be instantly attract, you can instantly probably find, 1 million golfers in the United States who would pay for that.
Well, you just hit on the actual use case. So first of all, I did understand that you didn't build the technology from scratch necessarily. You're using an assembly of technology, including
Yes.
OpenAI. It's been bundled through this organization, which totally makes sense. And anybody could potentially do this, but you're going back to the same thing, which is just the same thing that authors did 100 years ago, 50 years ago, the same thing that online course creators did as well, is that you are the personality that's going to add value to this. So if Tony Robbins came out with this, he'd be able to monetize this tomorrow. We know that, right? So the same things that you need to do in order to raise your profile and as you're doing right now, and in order to increase your platform to be able to utilize this, because it's the TJ Walker digital clone versus the Ken Burke digital clone, who knows nothing, but the TJ Walker clone knows a lot. And basically what you're doing is you're bringing that out. That's how you're going to monetize it. But what I want to make sure is that if you can, you've already kind of started to build the use case because it's your area of expertise. It's your use case. The more that you can, again, target this on a market that is specific, that this knowledge is specific to how they're going to derive value out of it, number one, and the use case that gets associated with how am I going to use this to make my life better? What's the value proposition of using this over live TJ? Is it just that it's less price? No, not at all. It's actually a lot more convenient. It's real time. It's on demand. I can't call TJ Walker right now because he's live on YouTube and on Amazon and on LinkedIn. I can't call Ken Burke right now, but I can go to his digital clone and get an answer on something that I need based on his knowledge that was in his head that he's developed. By the way, anyone can do this. You're absolutely right. But the key to getting it out there, like you said, I want to be the number one coach in this particular area, that it can be the same goal of the people that are listening to right now, but it requires the same skill set, marketing, platform development, content, education, all those things that you have to do for any other part of your business, including books, courses.
One other brief demonstration to give you a sense of this, because you're right. It's not that it's as good as I am. It's actually, in many regards, infinitely better.
Right.
Here's an example, and it's a little buggy, but let me just show you this. Because you can text it, you can call on a phone, you can do it, you can access it on WhatsApp, you can do just text, you can do just audio.
Hi,
You can do it through video. And so now what I'm going to show you, well, what I was attempting to show you was the language capability. Let me go in through another avenue, because it's not perfect yet. But the text version, if you write a text in virtually any language, my clone will answer back to you in your language.
In that language, yeah.
So that's, to me, what is ultimately so fascinating, because I'm a stupid American. I only speak one language. Whereas my clone can speak to you in your language. If you
Hi, I'm TJ's clone.
speak something else. So I only speak a couple of words of Spanish, but my clone
speaks perfect Spanish.
So that's what's interesting. We'll just do a little test.
Hi, I'm TJ's clone. How may I help you?
Hola, señor. Mi problema es no muy confidencioso. ¿Por qué?
Entiendo que te sientas confundido a veces. Cuando estamos en medio de una situación difícil o estresante, nos preguntamos, ¿por qué? Eso es.
Now, I have no idea if to a native Spanish speaker that is great, pretty good, or complete gibberish. I have no idea. But I know it's a lot better than I could do because I don't speak any Spanish other than
exactly. Well, my guess is they would believe it's the same, just like in English.
It is my voice. I mean, it sounds
emulated your voice. Sure.
You don't speak
and
Spanish. It's pulling from the same data. It's not pulling from the internet. It's not pulling from ChatGPT and Wikipedia. It's only pulling from my data. So that's what is, to me, is so exciting, is now I can instantly be accessible to 8 billion people around the world, minus anyone who doesn't have access to a cell phone, in their language at any time of day or night. any
It's
day.
amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely. And just so you know, we actually have this technology built into our engine as well. We don't have the video part of it, but we're doing the exact same thing. We take our customers' courses, we bundle it all together. We call it AI Q&A, and then we allow people to interact with an engine anytime they want.